Last night I was in there for so long, and I almost didn't make it back with the fact because I lost consciousness before waking up to write it down. So by the time I got back here in my physical reality room and, woke up here, I almost didn't even remember. It was one really cool thing that happened in particular that helped me bring it back forward. And this was so cool. It's something that hasn't happened in my experiences before. Just extraordinary how much there is in there to experience. But I was led to wander around this particular reality system just forever. Hours and hours, days and days. So long I get to the point in there where I'm like, gosh, I always wonder how much of this I'm actually ever going to bring back with me. But less and less I'm even concerned about it. I'm just, before the main concern was getting back with the data. Now I'm just, I know I'm going to have another experience the next day or the day after or whatever. And my main focus is just on diving into the fun I can have and the reality, who I can meet, what I can discover, what new things are going to happen. But I reached a point in the experience where I'm coming to an intersection, like crossing the street. And as I step onto the intersection is when I'm having these thoughts I was just sort of mentioning to you. And I realized that a guy I just saw was a guy I just saw a minute ago. There's lots of people. This intersection is just jam-packed of people, massive amounts of people. And then when I really looked, when I noticed that one of the guys was the same guy that I just saw a moment ago, I noticed that so were all of them. This was sort of like a mirrored effect kind of thing where there, may have been a dozen or even 24, people there, but they were being mirrored repeatedly. So I would, walk past this dozen or two people and then notice and then be aware of the fact that the same dozen or two were right behind them. So it wasn't like there were massive amounts of people. There was just this sort of mirrored effect going on. Really cool. When I noticed this, I paused. I'm trying to comprehend what it is that's happening. And in trying to comprehend what this is, I just sort of stepped to the side out of this particular flow of traffic. In less than a moment, I'm just whooshed away on another reality stream into a whole new experience. And so this was a shifting of reality streams, a conscious shift of reality streams right there in the middle of one of my OBEs. I've never experienced it quite like this before. And there's a lot to probably integrate in that regard that's not coming to me right now. Right now I'm just sort of gleaning the fact that it happened. And, the very cool ways it can happen. Lately, my dreams have been just wild. Just wild amounts of energy. I seem to be processing energies related to, I guess, things that are unresolved in me. These energies, the first ones, the one that really struck me when I woke from it, were energies related to being taken advantage of, being manipulated in, what's the right word? I want to say rather sick ways. That's the way I experienced it personally. But it's not quite right. But just other people attempting to malalign you with what their interests are, which don't have anything to do, with what your interests are. But as a sort of a gullible type person, that is definitely in the aspect of my personality makeup, being gullible. I have, even in this life, fallen into some situations, in regard to this. Usually people taking advantage of my good nature. I've always had a thing for, not liking to see people go hungry, not liking to see people go without, like for instance, one time when I was in the 4th grade, our school class took a trip to SeaWorld. One of the little girls on the bus comes up and sits next to me and said her parents didn't have any money to give her for the trip, so she wasn't going to be able to eat that day. And so I gave her half my money. And then, she stayed with me for a little bit, and then was gone. The next time I ran into her, she was doing the same thing to someone else. So, sort of like this. But in these dreams, they're much more hardcore, and there was just rage energy in me being worked out through this. I was actually taken into the field of another person that I probably have been, in my soul lifetimes. And I'm not seeing like the layer that I'm actually seeing the scenarios taking place in aren't really seeing me. I'm being seen and interacted with on a deeper layer. But I'm just, this one girl is being manipulated by a woman who is attempting to prostitute her in just really not good ways. And, at a certain point, I come out of this person and I'm trying to talk to her. I'm trying to get her to see what's clearly happening. But she's not wanting to see how bad it is, and is making it out to be a little something less than what it actually is in her mind, so that she can handle what it is that's happening to her. And at one point, one of the male energies interacting with her, me, is coming down on me so hard with so much weight that I myself pull out of the construct and just ream him with my energy, just telling him to never touch me again. And just this went on and on and on, and this whole just rage energy came out of me at him. And, he came down off of a sort of stage. This was taking place in a theater, and just stormed away. And just the rage in him from me standing up for this woman, me. It unnerved me slightly, but I knew that energy was gone. That particular, or any particular entity that was actually associated with that energy was gone from my field at that point. That one in particular, or others, or all, I don't know. Another energy I was processing this morning, and this is interesting, a couple of YouTubers from here were brought in to help with this particular one. I'm not going to mention who, but one of them had to do with about emotions that I feel, about people who are killing our plant life, what I called my plant friends. But again, this this just rage energy was coming. It's so much, I want to call it rage but energy, but it was just so much emotion. That's more accurate. Although I did say that if they killed my friends, I would kill them. So, but just like a crazy person, I was saying this. Not like anything that I would actually say, here in physical reality. But I guess this is bottled up emotion, bottled up energy, being processed through my system in my dreams recently. And they're just every night there's more and more and more, and there, just multiple scenarios, dozens of them. There's usually one that's usually the height of the emotion that I remember and bring back fully when I wake up. I had this OBE a few days ago now. I'm glad this actually preceded all of this energy clearing stuff that's going on. I'm having an OBE on, let me see if I can put that there. I'm having a multi-tiered or multi-layered experience. So I'm in about 4 places at once. The widest context of what was going on was I was being called in this amazing way into this amazing field. I was hearing music. I was hearing sound, just the most amazing sound and music within it. And it was totally cosmic, like totally not like anything exactly that we would hear on the planet. More like something like the music of the spheres, if you've ever heard some of that. But just totally otherworldly. And it was intoxicating on such a deep level, I can't rightly say, but I was like, a moth to a flame with it. Just every bit of me was reaching out for it. And I was also being sung to. It was a voice. I took it to be a feminine or female voice, singing the words, "Be with me, be with me." And I won't sing it because I can't sing, and it would be really bad, but it was something along the line of, or if I did have to describe it or come up with something that was in any way like it, I would say something like a mother singing a lullaby to an infant child. Just totally warm, totally peaceful, totally loving. And as the one being called, as the one being sung to. Just absolutely all of me was reaching out into that. And on the inner more layers, I'm intercepted. I'm intercepted but by what I am visualizing as 2 extraterrestrial beings, also feminine or female. Lots of female energy in this one. Tall, very lean, blue lavendery skin, large roundy heads, Not too much larger, than what we would normally see on a person, but larger than their sleek bodies. Uh, Beautiful, just beautiful. And we're in this like single person craft, not much larger. And it also is very roundy. Uh, when I came back, the word bulbous was in my mind, but sort of like in relation to the cars or vehicles we drive here in this reality. Some are long and sleek with fine lines, some are boxy, and some are roundy, like a Volkswagen Bug, is more roundy. And it was sort of like this, it was just real roundy. And anyway, they brought me to this sound, to this music, to this voice calling me, and in a neutral but not altogether too pleased way, right before I'm brought out of the experience and back into my physical reality, they say to the one who was calling me, they say, "You're always bringing them here. She cannot stay." And while I'm just sort of taking in them and the craft and sort of where I am, which is real misty, sort of like misty colors, that's as much as I'm getting of it. Before I actually see the one calling me, my alarm goes off and I am back in this physical reality. So yeah, being able to experience the depth and beautifulness of that energy that really helped in coming into the days where I'm processing this these energy streams, these unresolved flows of energy through me, because again, that's just been utterly wild.